Traci Phillip. She is awesome. She even made it on such short notice, and we're so
Yeah.
appreciative to her. This is just really a testament to her character, who she is, that greater version of herself. Baruch, let's go right into the bio, and then let's jump
Sure.
right into it.
So Tracy's an executive leadership and performance coach. She's a trusted advisor to top performing corporate and entrepreneurial visionaries. She supports her clients to understand and honor their unique genius, needs, methods, and principles, and to practice better communication, resolution strategies, decision making, and leading during times of change and when the stakes are high. You can learn more about Tracy and connect with her at theinnatecoach.com and by following her on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. She co-hosts a bi-weekly show called Eavesdrop in the Moment, where discussions are non-scripted, raw and real, covering everything from current events to personal life experiences. Tracy also has a book called Looking In, Discover, Define, and Align the True Value of Your Life, Leadership, and Legacy, which discusses how leaders can find their path to their own brand of leadership and impact through identifying and defining certain innate traits within them. Not only that, and this is not in the official bio, I was taking a look just to refresh myself as to who Tracy is and looked at her LinkedIn. Your LinkedIn is it's incredible because it's so different than everybody else's. I closed the window, unfortunately, but everybody else has this boring like work history. Like, here's where I work, and this is what I did. What it shocked me, what impressed me most was how within your LinkedIn you say like, this is what I did, this is how it defined me, or this is what I learned, and this is how it's applicable today. Like, that's so like exceptional, exceptionally irresistible. It's incredible. So that's pretty cool. Let's hop into the show though. So Tracy, first of all, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for joining us last minute despite all the craziness. It really is. We don't take that lightly. Can you talk to us a little bit about kind of what you do now in your own words and how you got there, where you started from? Because also on your LinkedIn, it said how you started, if I remember correctly, as like a French teacher and a French instructor, and then you became like a director of the program. But now you're like coaching high level people. So what was that journey like? How did you get from one place to the other?
Well, first of all, thank you for your enthusiasm and your kind words. I really appreciate it. And I do have to give credit where credit's due, because I do believe in that. My LinkedIn, I have to give a shout out to Elena Snyder, who does marketing work. She's talk about incredibly irresistible. I mean, she's very unique. And the reason I worked with her is because she really wants to help people define themselves authentically.
Wow.
And especially on these platforms where you can just, blend into the woodwork pretty easily. And it's not just about shouting to get seen either. So it really is to focus on it. I saw her profile and I was like, I love this, because everybody's telling me to take the last 10, unless it's applicable for the last 10 years, take it off the bio. Right. And I thought, well, but that's what defined me, right? Like my entire journey, to your question, is applicable to where I am today. So how would, if I need to fill in the gaps for people and they don't understand how it's applicable, let me do that for them.
Love it.
So thank you for pointing that out, because that was a refinement that I was looking to make. And she is just, so anybody who's looking to do something similar.
Oh yeah.
Get in touch with her.
I'm going to be looking her up right after this show, because that's incredible.
I was about to say, same thing. Yeah.
Maybe add her as a guest.
Great. She's really great. So anyway, I did start my first career was as a curriculum developer and instructor for a series of schools that I worked at. There's private schools, because they don't really teach foreign language in the elementary level unless you're in a private school, right? And it really was quite an early experience in letting go and being kind of led into where I was most genius and valuable. This was before I was thinking in these terms, but I did my early kind of, I guess I could say my student teaching in the high school level, at the high school level. And so I was primed, and back in the day, when early in my 20s, you did what you were taught to do, right? So my lane was what I went to school for. And so I came out of grad school, ready to look for those opportunities in high schools. And my resume came across the desk of a unique individual who was running a lower school at a school in Massachusetts. she had been previously to being the head of lower school. She was an art teacher,
Wow.
highly creative type, right? So she had looked at it and read between the lines and called me in and said, I want to talk to you. I'm like, first of all, I don't know how you got my resume. I don't know kids. I mean, I babysat kids, but like, I don't know if you want to put children in the curriculum around their development in my hands because I have no experience. But she said, but you do. And she was the first one that really taught me to read between my own lines.
Wow.
And really look at what she was seeing, which was my genius. And so I say all of that, I belabor that story because it fast forward to today, because really, you know, I always joke because my last 5 years of teaching was at an all boys school. I'm like, try to make French applicable to little boys. Right? Yeah, it was one of the most humbling experiences, honestly, because at that point I was a 10-year veteran in teaching. And so I kind of waltzed into this opportunity, you know, thinking I had it under my belt, and I had always taught co-ed, and it's a very, very different. I don't know if either of you have had experiences in, you know, the all one gender type of teaching environments, but I was humbled to realize I had to start all over. And these boys taught me how to really listen. And that was probably where I refined my ability to recognize that it wasn't so much about learning the language as it was about instilling and finding an opportunity for them to really recognize their own genius, like, because everybody's good at something, but we all come from different angles. But also that everybody has, you know, an ability to enjoy the learning process. And that was really my job, is to give them the opportunity to love the process.
Wow.
Regardless of where they got in their development, right?
Right.
Sure.
And that's what I do today, is I really help bring people home to their own zone, what I call zone of brilliance, because we're born with it. And to get to recognize that the learned and earned, which are the skills and talents and things that we come along, you know, the way once we're out of the womb, you know, we develop as we experience life, right? Both in school, out of school. But those are really there to support what we are innately genius at, right? Not the opposite. And most people don't even know what their innate genius or superpowers are. So really helping people discover, define, and then align those to their choices, their decisions, and then the actions they take as leaders, because obviously leaders are important and influence many people.